Hey guys, Justin Bryant here from selfmadesuccess.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make work more fun at your business or job, whether you work from home, whether you work at an office. And I'm going to show you a few things that I've done just trying to make work more enjoyable for myself that I think you would really like to apply, that science actually backs pretty much all of it. So these are just a few tips to make work more enjoyable. The first thing that you could try that I found is very helpful is instrumental music. So you could listen to that in the background. Um, if you work from home, you could use a Bluetooth speaker. You could have your computer running a YouTube playlist in the background. If you work at a office, at a job, or a actual lease space for your business, then you might use your headphones, but you want to avoid lyrics. Lyrics can divide your brain's attention between your task and what you're listening to, but without lyrics, you can actually do pretty well and listen to some really good music that will be something that kind of gets you into a rhythm. And once you get into a rhythm, a lot of times you become more productive. So a few playlists I recommend. One is called Orchestral Covers of Rock Songs. So it's an orchestra that does covers of what is normally a famous rock song by rock bands. If you want something kind of upbeat, also you could do more peaceful music or relaxing music. You could do this one right here. It's 4 hours worth, so it should last you pretty much throughout the day. You can see it's a very popular playlist. And so a couple of those, I'll have links to those for you, but those are a couple of really good playlists for just getting yourself in a good mood, kind of enjoying the beat of the music a little bit while you're working. Another thing I've found that is actually helpful is chewing gum. Now, there have been studies and things like that about eating or having a coffee and things like that. But here's the thing about that, and if you're going to be snacking and things like that to make work more enjoyable, you'll find that you'll eventually start gaining weight because you're not monitoring what you're eating and you're not counting calories and things like that. So gum, of course, does not add on any pounds, but it gives you that flavor and it gives you the chewing motion that is actually really good for brain function. It's really good for boosting your mood. So there is a study that I will link to for you talking about some testing that's actually been done for chewing gum, and I'll just give you a quick summary of the results. But it was associated with greater alertness and more positive mood. Reaction times were quicker in the gum condition, and this effect became bigger as the task became more difficult. So it also improved selective and sustained attention. Heart rate and cortisol levels were higher when chewing gum, which confirms the alerting effect of chewing gum. So you also want to get sugar-free gum, of course. You don't want to add a bunch of that to you. It's also not good for your teeth, but it is proven to actually boost your mental function and your mood. So it can be a great thing that you could add on for your actual routine as far as working. So another thing you can do, number 3, is you can make work a competition. So making work a competition with, say, other co-workers can make you more productive. And in fact, what you might do is compete for a prize pool of, let's say everybody put a little money into a pot. This is very effective for people exercising and trying to achieve weight loss goals. They actually have sites built for that where you can actually put money into a pool against your friends, and the one that makes the biggest weight loss gets the pool of money. So it adds an added bonus to making things more competitive, more fun. And we all in our own ways, usually love competition, whether it's sports, whether it's video games, whether it's chess, all kinds of different things. So making it a competition can be very well, even if you're competing against yourself. So there's some science behind this and how you can add this to your routine and build a competition for your work. And it's on Harvard Business Review's website. I'll have a link to this page for you. But basically, it makes you more productive. It makes you reach more goals. It helps you set goals, which is a big part of being productive. It makes you more mentally focused because it helps you have something to work for and be more motivated. The added motivation alone can make you really just get into the zone, and instead of being bored, where when you get bored, obviously it really hurts your mood, it really hurts the enjoyability of your work. So this kind of shows you how to get the most value from a competitive process at work, how to add that to your schedule and make it more fun so that you actually don't hate your life when you're working. Number 4, you can use apps to make it like a video game. So personally, I like games. I like playing games here and there, and honestly, if work could be a video game, I think a lot of us would be more productive because we would enjoy it. We would want to do it. If we could make work a video game in some way, then it might make you want to do it more, making you more productive, making you more money, and helping you have a more positive mood. So there's actually 2 free apps I would recommend that you look at. One is Life RPG, which stands for Life Role-Playing Game, which is a type of video game. So you can kind of look at what it looks like. This is basically what it is. But you basically build your skills. You have levels that you go up. You have things that you have to accomplish by certain deadlines. You're working on your hygiene. You're working on programming. You can be working on fitness, social, art, other skills that you're working on, entrepreneurship, and it really keeps you on track. It's a lot better than a normal to-do list because you level up and you can have set rewards for yourself once you level up and things like that, like you would in a video game. So Life RPG, great app. I've tried it. I've used it. It's actually on my phone right now, and it's a very good productivity app. As you can see, it's got some very good ratings as well, so I'm not the only one vouching for this app. But another one that competes with them is called Habitica, Gamify Your Tasks. And I'll show you a few pictures of kind of what it looks like, but it's very similar. Basically, you build habits, you have new to-do lists and things like that, and it turns your to-do list into a video game. It also has your own little avatar that you create. You can customize your little person that basically allows you to express yourself, and which you have your own character basically like you do in a video game. You get rewarded points for completing different things. You get rewards for them, and it allows you to kind of level up in this game and make it a lot more fun. And of course, there are others as well that you can play against and things like that. So Habitica, another one I've tried, very similar to Life RPG, but these 2 I would recommend if you want to turn your work into kind of a video game. Number 5, you can automate or delegate the things you hate doing. So another thing is that if you're doing stuff that you hate, or if you're doing something over and over and over that's extremely repetitive, you can outsource it, or you can create a computer program to do it for you. So one thing I use is Auto IT. Auto IT is a way of creating basically what is a bot that will go through, simulate what you're doing. It will do clicks, it will type and do things like that for you, which most computer tasks relate to just clicking and typing. So you can automate that stuff with Auto IT, and it's very straightforward. If you decide to use this, the two main functions you need to know, actually three of them, are sleep, which pauses between mouse movements and things like that. So you need to do sleep in between different movements. You need to learn mouse click, so look up the mouse click function. That's how you right and left click on things. That's how you drag your mouse. If you want to highlight something, pretty much anything you want to do with your mouse is through a mouse click. So you have the sleep function, the mouse click function, and the send function. When you learn the send function, that's how you type, and that's also how you click using keyboard shortcuts. So those three things, you can do pretty much anything. You can pretty much automate anything on the computer using Auto IT with those three functions. So look those three up. It's also free to use. But if you want to just get other people to do stuff for you, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I would recommend Fiverr. Fiverr is a great place to outsource, and of course you can do your own gigs as well if you want to make some side cash. But for this purpose, you would be able to get people to write stuff up for you, plan things for you, do some programming for you. You can get people to do some graphic design work for you, some voiceovers, transcriptions, all kinds of different stuff, SEO. So pretty much any task that's just repetitive, tedious, that you're sick of doing, you could automate on Fiverr for probably about $5 or $10. So that's another thing you should probably look at doing. Number 6, make your office decor better. So the way your office is presented is another thing that has to do with your productivity as well as your happiness. So you want to have a nice design, whether you have a cubicle or whether you have a full home office or whether you have your own lease space, your own corner office with a nice view in a building, whatever you have, you want to make the decor work for you. So a few things I recommend you have, like a good view. If you can get a good view, just get close to a window in general. That can be really great for you, just to kind of take some pressure off your eyes. Working on a computer is rough on your vision. So you should be able to look out a window, look at something far away, and just kind of look outside. A little personalization is something that everyone needs. We all try to express ourselves, whether we realize it or not, in the car we drive, in the house we have, in the decor in our home, and the type of dog we get, the type of art we create. We all try to express ourselves somehow. And having a little personalization for cubicles, if you're the boss of a company, let your workers have some personalization. Have some personalization in your own office. You might have some quotes framed on your desk. You might have some pictures of your family. You might have a really nice chair that you really enjoy. Things like that. Like I said, bringing the outdoors in. I'll have a link to this page for you. This has some really good suggestions. It's on inc.com. But another thing, physical activity is very good for your mood. Very, very helpful for boosting your mood when you're working. If you can do a standing desk, that would be very helpful. If you could do even a walking desk, or if you could just take frequent breaks to go for walks and things like that, that would be very helpful. Sitting makes you tired and can make you very groggy and low energy. It's also just not good for you in general. So you want to avoid sitting for too long at your work area. So things like that. Even plants are, studies have shown, boost moods. If you have plants in your office, like if you have a home office, for instance, you might have a plant, or if you have a cubicle, you might have a little, even if it's a fake plant, you might have a little pot plant on your desk, and that is also helpful as well. But things like that is, those types of things will really make your office and your workspace more attractive. Also, keep it organized. I've found that a messy work area does not help at all as far as mood or productivity. Number 7, have predetermined rewards for every small accomplishment. So let's say you had a very productive day at work. I would really combine this with the competition method, because rewards plus productivity, the whole work hard, play hard thing, those really do work. So what gets rewarded gets repeated. This is a very effective quote. You might even just print out a picture or something that has the quote like this on there and put it on your desk. But you should always be rewarding yourself somehow, whether you give yourself a pat on the back. I've seen some successful people do stuff like that, or just have some good self-talk, very positive feelings for themselves after they accomplish something, or they'll treat themselves to if you're like Oprah, you might treat you and your friends to a trip in Europe or Asia or other places as a reward for having a good month financially and things like that. Or you might treat your family to a nice dinner. You might do all kinds of different things. So reward yourself for what you're doing, and you'll have a more positive outlook on your productivity as far as your work. Another thing, I would read up on the science behind rewarding yourself. There are a few different ways to look at this. So Adam Callanan, he actually did a great article on entrepreneur.com that's very helpful. And he compared 2 of his friends. One of them decided to get an Aston Martin as soon as he could afford it financially from his business. The other one decided he was going to wait till he had at least $30 million of net worth before he would even get the Lamborghini he wanted. So these are 2 very opposite ways of looking at rewarding yourself, and he kind of compares them. Which one should you do? If you reward yourself too quickly and reward yourself with very expensive items, then you might have trouble if something like a bump in the road in your business, or you get laid off from your job, comes up later. You might not be able to be financially secure. So if you reward yourself too highly, too early, it can be a problem. But if you wait too long and just say, okay, well, I'll enjoy this later. I'll enjoy this in a few years when I'm a millionaire. That can make things kind of negative and hurt your productivity, hurt your mood, and make yourself kind of ask why you're even working in the first place. So you need to have something in between. He actually, at the end of this article, recommends you have like a percentage dedicated to rewarding yourself, and the more you produce, the more you can reward yourself, but you never go over that 1%, 10%, 5%, whatever it is that you use for rewards. So be careful about how much you reward yourself, but have planned rewards, because those are the types of things that keep you going. Number 8, allow for more fresh air, natural sunlight, and views. So many scientists have actually done studies that, of course, our brain and everything runs on oxygen. We need oxygen to live. When we take vast amounts of oxygen in from the outdoors, which is fresh oxygen, then we have more energy. We have a more positive mood, because when you're indoors, everyone's breathing the same air over and over and then exhaling carbon dioxide. So as you inhale and exhale, you're making the air more and more stale in your work environment within a building. Okay, so unless you have the windows open or something like that, you're having to breathe a lot of stale air all the time, and it's not going to give you as much energy and as much of a boost in your mood. Also, natural sunlight is very good for your mood. So if you can get out in the sun, if you can work a little bit in the sun, maybe you work at home, you can work on your porch outside a little bit with your laptop, or you might just have a window open where the sun can come in a little bit. Like I said, take breaks where you can have fresh air or have a window open And a nice view can also help as well. It can take the pressure off your eyes and allow you to kind of just look outside and get your focus back and boost your mood. So a few examples of like a nice modern home office. Obviously, they're all over the place on Pinterest and Google Images. You might have something like this. You notice this one has a nice view, lets a lot of sunlight in. Also, having your desk, if you work from home, having your desk face the room instead of facing a wall is very helpful. I've noticed that facing a wall is kind of not very good for productivity. It's not very good for your mood. You'll notice a lot of these nice offices here, they face away from the wall, and then they also have some windows. So that is the ideal way to kind of structure your home office, if possible, facing towards the door, feeling like you have more of an open room instead of being boxed in facing a wall. Of course, if you work in a cubicle, there's not a whole lot you can do, but any improvement helps. Being able to look out the window, having some sunlight, maybe even cracking your windows a little bit to let some fresh air in if weather permits. Things like that can really be helpful. So you might want to look into doing that. There's another nice example, but you might look at some different office designs and just get some ideas. Sunlight, there are a lot of benefits to this. This will help you as far as just proving why you might want some of this more sunlight in your breaks, more sunlight coming into your office or your workspace. It helps, of course, with your eyes. It helps with your skin. It helps with your overall health and your mental health. So all those different things, it has a lot of benefits, and it just makes you feel better in general. We are a species that's meant to be more outside. And last but not least, fresh air. There's quite a bit of science behind fresh air and oxygen. The oxygen content in your air is much higher outdoors than it is indoors because of, like I said, you're breathing in and out stale air because you exhale carbon when you breathe in oxygen, and you need fresh air coming in from outside as much as possible. So I'll have links to these articles with all the science and all that stuff. If you got something from this video, if you feel like you learned something that could help you maybe make work a little bit more enjoyable, please like and subscribe so I can create more videos like this for you. Also, if you want to add to this conversation or let me know what you thought about the video or make suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'm always looking for feedback to improve these videos and build on the topics for these. And all of the links, all of the science, all of the studies, resources, related content, and show notes for this video will be on one page at selfmadesuccess.com for you. You can go there for that or find the link in the video description. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you have a great day.